Welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back for another BoshNRoll Cube Draft video. This is episode 4 of the series, technically episode 2 of the second series. Patreon subscriber Femi challenged me to Cube Till I Trophy, and I did that so quickly that he challenged me to go do it again. And this is the second draft in the second challenge. This pack is kind of mid. We've got some dual lands. Exploration could be a draft around. I don't know if I want to, I would take Fast Bond in this pack, but I don't know about this one. Shieldbreaker is safe. Any of these dual lands are safe. Breeding Pool. In Mind Twist, I feel like Mind Twist stock has gone down, but this is the most WTF bullshit card in the pack, if I can make it work. Yeah, I think I'm just going to take Mind Twist on power level here, but I am looking at this corner of Bant Duels plus Exploration, and maybe that's something, but Mind Twist is in the pile. We've got Subtlety, Sylvan Caryatid, Shelldock Isle. Among cards I'm seriously considering here. Goblin Welder can do some stuff. Big draft around. Might end up in the sideboard, might end up the best card in the deck. Sakura Tribe Scout replaced Jiraga Tree Speaker in this version of the cube, which is a huge bummer, because I would slam a Jiraga Tree Speaker here, but I don't think I actually want this card. Subtlety is a safe interactive spell that's also a threat. Shelldock Isle is a whammy if I get into a big end of my deck. Overgrown Tomb is a dual land that casts this Mind Twist that I already have. I'm between Shelldock Isle and Subtlety, and I think I'm going to lean towards Subtlety here. I see this Wandering Emperor. I'm not really interested in that, though. Okay, here is Grief and Daze alongside my blue-black start with a Pitch Elemental already. Not that, like, Pitch Elemental typo is an archetype. Like, that's just card disadvantage archetype. Triplicate Titan would have been cool with that Goblin Welder we just sent around. Disappointing, but you can't know what's coming in the next packs. I'm interested in Grief here. The two things that I'm trying to do in this iteration of the cube, just generic, overarching thought processes that I've learned and I'm trying to really hone in on, are inevitability. Like, if nobody's doing anything, who does that favor? And don't die. Like, if somebody has a busted start, how good are you at fending it off? So don't die early, and then make sure you're the one who's going to win if the game goes forever. Those are the two things I'm trying to do in this version of the cube. Or probably all versions of all cubes, but this is the first time I have coherently understood those two thoughts and tried to draft around them on purpose. Animate Dead is pretty dope. It works with the Grief within the framework of don't die and who favors inevitability. Also, being a vintage cube deck that can go stupid is really tempting. This Hoof is a powerful card. Mere Battlesphere. That Goblin Welder would have been a great pick if we went with it, but I'm not living in the past here. I'm taking Animate Dead. Thoughtseize. Okay. Thoughtseize. The Disrupt You theme deck continues to move forward. Brainstorm's a reasonable card. Mystical Tutor's a great card. I only have the Mind Twist to get with it currently. But Thoughtseize is right in that Subtlety, Grief, Mind Twist box of how do you keep yourself from dying early? Yeah, I love this Thoughtseize here. Just stake my claim on black. Okay, Blue-Black Duel, Snapcaster Mage, and Malcolm are the cards I'm considering here. Malcolm's pretty cool. Flash threat, card selection that eventually becomes card advantage. I've never played with this card, but I have played against it. I think it's Snapcaster Mage. But, like, as far as leave up your mana, flash 2/1, etc., like, it's unfortunate Malcolm is next to Snapcaster Mage here. If this pack was Sunken Ruins versus Malcolm, I would take Malcolm, but I'm in for Snapcaster. Watery Grave. And Gix is not bad. Karn goes in basically all decks. Tezzeret, I currently am not doing anything with that. It's between Karn and Watery Grave here. And I think 4-mana win conditions are replaceable and dual lands are essential. Molten Collapse versus Putrid Imp here. Putrid Imp works with this Animate Dead if I whirl my way into Reanimator throughout the rest of the draft. Molten Collapse is a powerful, versatile card, but would require me adding a color in my deck. Yeah, Putrid Imp. We got all three of the banned cards I was considering first picking on the wheel here. I'm no longer considering them. Masker Girl is a Wrath, and Bloodchief Thirst is spot removal. So it's basically, I'm deciding, do I want a big late game change of tempo, or do I want to survive the early game? And like I've been saying, surviving the early game is my priority. Oh no, the Welder Wield. I mean, I will take it now. Darkclick Shores. Damn, Yogwill, Thopter Foundry. Wow. Thopter Foundry is a blue-black card. Yogwill and Damn are both good cards, but I'm going to try to live the dream here and take this Thopter Foundry. Flame Slash, if I do end up splashing red, is a solid removal spell. We have kind of a core deck over there, and then we have some spec stuff. It looks like the Goblin Welder Wield, but then the Trips Titan and the Mere Battlesphere did not. That's funny. I hope I just ruined someone's day. Ottawar is a great card for my deck. Happy to see that. And a Goot True Zealot. Over here in this red pile that's probably not getting played, but we got options. Back to, we've got Vamp Tutor, Dark Ritual, Preordained Miscalculation, Valky, among cards I'm considering. I suspect Vamp Tutor, and this just gives me the second copy of whatever the best card in my deck is, and the first copy of whatever the best card for each situation in my deck is. I feel like I would be a pretty good Dark Ritual deck with Mind Twist, Grief, Animate, like Dark Ritual, Putrid Imp, discard a banger, Animate Dead is a line. Dark Ritual is powerful enough. It's not like Seething Song that literally only Dedicated Storm would want it. It's kind of like 2/3 of a Black Lotus if you can put it on the stack, but it might wheel. I've seen weirder things. Tendrils, Recurring Nightmare, Sword of the Meek. I think I just have to take the Sword of the Meek. Good chance it wheels, because no one would want it who doesn't have the Thopter Foundry, but if I send this around and someone just takes it, I'm going to be beside myself. As far as what card I actually think that a bold, powerful gamer with a brain would take, I think it's Lose Focus, but I have so much discard that a counter spell might not be necessary, and I want it. I would love to take Lose Focus now and wheel the Sword of the Meek. Recurring Nightmares here, but I'm not even really good at being a Reanimator yet. Saheeli is double blue in this base black deck. That's not it. Coalition Relic. I basically am never upset to play that card, but I am slamming Sword of the Meek, Thopter Foundry into my deck, because that's one of my favorite combos. Holy smokes, what happened in this pack? This is pick 3, and there's still 2 Moxen in here. Alongside Oko. Underworld Breach. Grave Titan. I would love Grave Titan or Turok in my deck. On the wheel here. I'm taking the on-color Mox right now, obviously. That was weird. Alright, well, there's that. Ashen Rider is my first big Reanimator payoff. I'm not in an Echo of Eon strategy. The LED is floating around, though, in this pack. Contagion is a reasonable card. I like Urtai Resurrected, though. I don't have an Entomb. I really only have this Putrid Imp to set up reanimation stuff. And I only have one Reanimate spell. I'd rather just kind of settle into Demure cards here. And Urtai is a nice little catch-all. Yawgmoth is powerful. Blood Crypt facilitates a splash. Chrome Host Seed Shark is just a thing. It's just like a perfectly reasonable card to put in your deck. Necromancy builds out my reanimation package. And with all my discard and removal, I can be animating and necromancying their stuff. I'm going to keep moving in on that. Deep Cavern Bat is removal, or not removal, disruption. Rafine's Tower is a dual land. I don't think I want Imperial Seal. I already have Vamp Tutor, and I don't actually have an AB combo to assemble yet. Dig Through Time, also powerful. Dig, Bat, Tower are my thoughts right now. Dig versus Bat. I'm going to take the Bat. Maybe that's crazy, but I do like putting creatures on the board. Creeping Tar Pit is a threat that's also a dual land. Damnation is great, obviously. I mean, Misery Shadow and Dreams of Steel and Oil are fine, but I'm not considering them over these 2 cards. I don't have a sweeper yet. And the power of a sweeper goes up when you have a tutor, because you can just go get it if it's appropriate. Okay, Astral Dragon is a big O that I can reanimate. Ledger Shredder is just a solid magic card in my deck. Yeah, that's tough. I'm taking Ledger Shredder, though. I'm just fantasizing about looting away a Sword of the Meek. Dark Ritual, easy money here. I considered first picking it, and it's still in the pack now. There's the Saheeli that I thought about a little bit the first time around. The Lose Focus is gone. That's the one that I actually wanted out of this pack. Saheeli is likely to make my deck. Lion's Eye Diamond requires a lot of setup and payoff. Yeah, I'm taking Saheeli. The Rock on the wheel, that's the one I was talking about wanting. Contagion on the wheel. The card's fine. Yogg versus Oracle and Desire. I mean, I think it's Yogg here. Not that I have a lot of creatures to sacrifice, but I just picked up a Saheeli, so things could happen. Tameshi versus Doomsday. Oh, wow. I'm not playing this Tameshi. I'm going to put this Doomsday in my sideboard just to mess with that Oracle player who got a second to last pick Oracle, last pick Doomsday. No thanks. What's going on here? Narset is powerful, and in my colors, Urza Saga is always fine. I only have Mox Sapphire that it can poop out at the end, though. Batterskull's a big thing. Hard Evidence is fine. Corpse Dance is another reanimate, but I think it's worse than the ones I have, and I'm not even excited about the ones that I have. This is Narset for me. My deck got a lot bluer between Saheeli and Narset over those last couple picks. Just gotta stay cognizant of that when I'm thinking about fixing. Shallow Grave through the Breach. I think I'm on Fallen Shinobi here. And Chrome Mox is good too. I'm not that great of a deck that can leverage short-term mana advantage over long-term card advantage. I can't cast the creature side of this Knight thing. I didn't take the Saga, so I don't want Aether Spellbomb. Unlicensed Hearse is just like fine, I guess. But I'm going to take this Shinobi. Phyrexian Metamorph, Gataxian Probe. Trinket Mage can get my Mox. Marsh Flats can get my Watery Grave. I want Probe here. The information you get from a Gataxian Probe is just so close to free and so powerful. I'm in. Gush, Murktide Regent, Collective Brutality, Palantir of Orthonk. And Palantir is another card advantage engine. I'm not really storming out in a way that I'm happy with Gush. I don't have a lot of spell velocity for Murktide, and I don't think I need more threats. I have quite a few of those. Collective Brutality is a multifaceted removal spell that can put something in my graveyard for me to reanimate it. But Palantir of Orthonk also puts things in the graveyard for me to reanimate. Wowee, this pack suddenly. Library of Alexandria. No respect for this one this late in pack 3. I know this card is divisive in Cube. There are those who think it is insane, and there are those who think it's unplayable and doesn't even belong in the Cube anymore. And I'm closer to the insane side. But Fairy Mastermind, Jace Wielder, and Graveyard Trespasser are all good cards for my deck. Disappointing. Phyrexian Fleshgorger is actually pretty good for my deck, too. I could Dark Ritual it out and then reanimate it later. Wow. What a pack. I think I have enough playables that I'm just going to take the land, tuck that upside in my mana base where I don't have to think about what I'm cutting for it. Bloodstained Mire is a dual land. Unfortunately, this 4th Aerolink is just going around and around, not close to usable in my deck. I don't have a Tinker or Show and Tell for this portal to be any good. Yeah, I want the Mire. Jace the Mind Sculptor, Baleful Strix, Treachery, all good in this deck. Treachery is such a beating. It's kind of an old school Cube card that maybe hasn't held up as good as it used to in the early days, but I love a Treachery. I love a Jace the Mind Sculptor too. Tough beats when you have multiple cards you want in the same pack. I'm taking Jace. And then there's a pack with nothing you want at all in it. In Scrubland can be fetched with Bloodstained Mire and technically cast Thopter Foundry or something. I don't know. Like, I'm just not putting any of these cards in my deck. This Hedron Crab, what am I going to do? Just like randomly mill an opponent for 9th throughout a game? I'm not going to Time Spiral. I can't cast Manamorphose. I'll just take the Scrubland. True Name on the wheel. Do I want that over Hard Evidence? Hard Evidence is an early blocker and a spell in my graveyard, and a spell on the stack for things like Saheeli. True Name is just some body with stats. I think Hard Evidence is actually better. I did just take the Scrubland. Shorikai is on the docket. It's possible. It could be done. I don't need more 4-drops, though. Unlicensed Hearse versus Aether Spellbomb. I'm going to put Hearse in my sideboard in case that's good. Trinket Mage gets Mox Sapphire just past the Aether Spellbomb. Murktide on the wheel, Godless Shrine. Well, the fetchable Godless Shrine versus the Murktide. I didn't actually end up with any white cards. Graveyard Trespassers in the deck, probably. I have a lot of playables here. I just have to figure out what this deck's actually going to do. Silent Clearing. I will likely play that. It's just a black land that I could draw a card off of later. And Beseech the Mirror, last pick. I will not be beseeching the mirror. Let's look at this deck. There are currently 31 Magic cards in the deck that are not lands. Trinket Mage is an easy cut. Only one target for that. I did not actually get there on the Putrid Imp stuff. I don't think that card's good here. Turok's another 4-drop. There's a lot of 4s in this deck. I can board in Contagion if it's appropriate. I don't think I need it in the main. I am pretty happy with my discard suite, though. Bat, Thoughtseize, Grief. I have 2 ways to reanimate Grief. Vamp Tutor did find a target between Thopter and Sword here. I do have an AB combo worth assembling. I think Murktide is actually kind of mid and unnecessary for the deck. Dark Ritual is great. Even if I just get a little extra on Mind Twist or get Turok down a turn early, I love Dark Ritual here, even though it's not really setting up turn 1 game-ending plays. I think my most busted Dark Ritual is like Thoughtseize you, pitch Grief, animate Dead to Grief. I would take that hand. I'm not complaining. Do I need Palantir among... Or maybe it's... I mean, Yawgmoth is just a clunky 4-drop. I have Saheeli and Thopter Sword that can crank out creatures, but I think just the fact that he costs 4 is a tough beat. If I play against a deck full of X1s, or like there's a lot of humans in like the Boros and white aggro decks, he's got options, but I don't think he's really part of my engine here. Damnation's a tricky one because obviously it's an insanely powerful game-flipping effect, but I also ended up pretty creature-heavy here. I think I want to board this in, because I will play against some number of combo and control decks where this card just sucks. But I'm going to want it desperately versus the aggro decks. I'd imagine griefing someone, attacking with Menace, then flipping it into a Fallen Shinobi, and then griefing them again. Ooh, I'm not cutting the Shinobi. There's currently 25 cards in my deck, and one of them's Mox Sapphire. So if we're counting like 17 mana sources, there's actually 24 cards in the deck. Probably want one cut here. And Harvard Evidence is kind of just generic filler. I'm not doing anything with that token. Investigating is nice. It triggers Saheeli, and it's a cheap object for Snapcaster Mage, but I'm not even main decking my Murktide, so I'm not really trying to fill my graveyard with spells necessarily. I could board that in against aggressive decks as well. MTGO put a mountain in my deck. I don't need that. I'll make that a swamp, please. Saheeli's not a real red card. I don't actually need the Scrubland. That's just a basic swamp that can get wastelanded. Yeah, white is even the hybrid mana on with black on Thopter Foundry, so this doesn't even fix into Thopter Foundry in any sort of backdoor way. No thanks. I have 10 black sources, 9 blue sources. Black is my earlier color, though my double costs in the mid-game are blue. I think this holds out just fine. Yeah, this looks like a deck to me. We've got Inevitability. Eventually, Thopter Foundry, Sword of the Meek will come up. And between Subtlety, Grief, Thoughtseize, Bat, removal, we're pretty good at fending off an early aggression situation. And we have sideboard options. Contagion, Damnation, Hard Evidence if we need to just turtle up versus an aggro deck. I like it. Let's do it. This is Femi Cube Draft Challenge number 4. The official BoshNRoll Island Ponder Keep shirt is available exclusively through Coalesce Apparel. This Magic player-owned business is a staple of our community. They keep this channel on the air, and it's my pleasure to partner with them for this product. Coalesce is the best Magic apparel on the market. They have awesome new designs coming out all the time. Use code BoshNRoll to get 10% off your order, only at coalesceapparel.shop. I'm on the play in round 1 with this beautiful, rock-solid hand. And when you fan out a hand like this, you're like, I drafted pretty good. I will be taking the full modern Lava Axe myself, 5 damage, to Thoughtseize them on turn 1. Ooh, look who's in my wheelhouse over here. We've got a Balance of Fallen Shinobi. They can Mind Twist me back. I think I want to take their twist. Looks like we have a pseudo mirror here. They actually have a white card we're splashing for. it was funny that I could support a White Splash, but didn't find a card worth casting. If Shattered Sanctum plus Mox Jet, if I play Ledger Shredder and then they balance, if they land balance, I'll have 4 cards in hand to their 4 cards in hand. Balance would just be a kill spell on Ledger Shredder. Or if they balance off the Mox, they have to discard an additional card, but I have to sack a land. Alright, I think this is okay. There's the Sunken Ruin. So if they balance here, it's actually just kill Ledger Shredder. Oh, yuck. Come on. Quit it with this. That was an insane card. I would have taken that from their hand over Mind Twist if I had the option. Goodbye, Ledger Shredder. I hardly knew you. Saheeli. Ooh, this is fun. Okay. Saheeli could force some action on a future balance. I want to Narset before my hand is gone. Saheeli actually pressures the board in a way that's meaningful. I'm going for Saheeli here. They can cast Fallen Shinobi right now. That's actually really dangerous. If they cast Fallen Shinobi, if they plus Liliana cast Fallen Shinobi, then I think I actually lose my Mind Twist here because I'll be too far behind on board for that to matter at some point. And they can minus Liliana, clear my token, crunch me with Shinobi. They didn't go for that line. Not yet. Alright. They left up mana instead. Oh, sick. That's just free money on a Liliana discard. Were they holding up counter magic rather than playing out the Shinobi, or were they trying to get a really spicy balance in the mix? No. Activate Narset. Animate Dead, Gataxian Probe, Mox Sapphire, Vampiric Tutor. This is a lot of good cards. The Mox Sapphire triggers Saheeli twice, and if they balance, they lose their hand. The Vamp Tutor gets me the Thopter. Alright, yeah, Vamp Tutor. I'm in. And if they balance, I can Vamp Tutor in response and have fewer cards in my hand. And it's an instant that creates a blocker in case they do have a flash creature that tries to Fallen Shinobi me. Uh-oh. That flash creature can fly. Danger, danger. That was exactly the worst possible scenario for the one unknown card in their hand. Though it does explain why they didn't slam their Shinobi last turn. Ooh, is this optional? It's not. So they just have to discard a card here and they don't get to draw. They could have attacked my Planeswalkers, but they went after me instead. Oh, right, because they have this Shinobi. That's not going to happen. We just talked about this. All right, settle down, man. You're getting out of control. Okay, here's the Shinobi. And their hand has Malcolm in it now. Please don't flip my Thopter. I have big plans right now. Graveyard Trespasser, Dark Ritual. That's perfect. That lets them cast the Graveyard Trespasser and its Graveyard Hate. God, I hate my life right now. Oh, right, they get it for free. Never mind. The Dark Ritual didn't matter. I mean, it was nice of them to play Graveyard Trespasser before plussing Liliana, because I would have discarded the Sword of the Meek, which I would have very much liked to keep around. Yeah, honestly, that wasn't that bad. They're eating my Ledger Shredder, draining me for 1. And hopefully starting next turn, I simply will not be worried about any of these effects that they have. Dark Ritual, okay. Where's this going? Lingering Souls, okay. So they've basically given up on balancing here. Each player discards a card. Yes, please. Sword of the Meek is gone. The balance is gone. Like I said, they gave up on balancing. Vamp Tutor for the big stabilizer. Saheeli even triggers the sword on the first hit. A thing that I totally would have remembered in paper play. Wink, wink. They draw for turn. Do I even Narset on this board? I think that the answer is no. Because she's out here causing problems for my opponent's ability to draw cards. They can just plus Liliana, which they'll have to do. Or no, this doesn't fly yet. Next turn they fly. Okay. I'm empty versus this Liliana. And I have the fair and square Thopter combo. I didn't get an Urza to go infinite here, but I'm doing plenty. Malcolm is one of the 2 cards in their hand. And let me tell you about 2-1 flash attackers versus my infinite 2-3 flying blockers. Attacks are happening. There are no creatures for them to exile currently. That's good. That's life that I don't lose right now. Sacrifice Sword of the Meek to make a 1-1 and gain a life. Get some flying blockers out here. And I'm just going to do it again right now. In Constructed, I'd be a little more careful about how I play around this, but in Draft, when I know one of the 2 cards in their hand, okay. They either didn't know what this was, or didn't think I knew what this was, or thought they could beat it until just now. But yeah, they correctly scooped this game up. No fair deck can beat Thopter Sword. I think my deck is already in the correct spot where it could be. I didn't really see enough to Damnation them. They appear to be kind of my deck, but also White Splash for balance. Yawgmoth is only good if I'm already popping off with Thopter Sword or Saheeli, which should already win the game. Beseech the Mirror is actually really interesting, and I didn't think about it that much in original deck build. I still don't think it's better than the 4s I'm already playing, and I don't know if I have room for it, but that it does also assemble Thopter Sword, even if I don't bargain. Yeah, I think if I had Urza in the deck for the full infinite everything combo, I would be trying to Beseech on top of Thopter Sword, but I think I'm doing enough right now. Okay, let's go. A tasty little what you up to, and then Disrupt you. Open. I'm in. Don't even have to take 5 this time, just 2. Thoughtseize ya. Dothy Voidwalker, Beseech the Mirror, balance. They're on that balance life again. I mean, I'm taking this Voidwalker. That card's pretty annoying for me. But I hope to make it annoying for them instead. Sunken Ruins. Did we draw a spell? Doesn't look like it. Oh, I did, though. Buckle up, gamers. Do I want to Trespass here? I think I do. I could Trespass or I could Saheeli, basically are the choices. Trespasser makes Necromancy worse, but it also incentivizes them to actually do something and cast a spell. Because if they don't like balance here just to kill this, then they're going to start taking a bunch of damage. This has Ward, discard a card, and the backside's not better than the front side. And if they do balance here, they have to sack a land to my creature. This is actually an awful balance, if that's what they end up doing. If they rip the Liliana here, I'm going to be bummed out, though. Kaito Shizuki. Okay. Beginning of your end step, if this entered battlefield this turn, it phases out. Plus draw a card, discard a card unless you attack this turn, minus make a ninja. Alright, they've made a ninja. Now balance doesn't actually even kill my creature. They did successfully cast a card, though. Oh, this subtlety is fun. I'm going to play Silent Clearing, attack, and let it flip to nighttime. I'm going to exile Thoughtseize. I don't have to, right? This is up to 1. Yeah, maybe I should have left that in. I do have Snapcaster Mage in my deck. The best thing that I can hope for now is they just pay 4 for some creature. They can't Beseech the Mirror with the mana they're showing me. They can plus Kaito to draw a card. I'm ready to mush Kaito, though. In combat next turn. Ninja's getting in. Can't be blocked. Drawing a card. Oh, not actually a creature. Fake creature. And they can Beseech the Mirror, sacking any of these many tokens next turn. That's annoying. Alright, I'll just go to my turn. I do at least get to exile the Lingering Souls. Kind of the nuts. Attack Kaito, exile Lingering Souls. If they Beseech the Mirror for a creature or Planeswalker, I can Subtlety it after Beseech does its thing. Kaito is just straight up drawing multiple cards a turn right now, though, until I stabilize against it. They have to decide how many creatures they want to attack with here. Just the ninja is the response. I can't Subtlety a ninjutsu. Luckily, that didn't happen. Kaito plussed. Alright, please Beseech the Mirror for something that I can Subtlety. Palace Jailer. Oh, that's interesting. So I have Ward, discard a card. I would rather just kill this thing, or flip this thing, have 2 attackers, clear Kaito, yeah. If they didn't have the flying blocker, I might get frisky here and let them have it, let them discard a card, take the Monarch back, get my thing. But the Kaito plus the flying blocker, that's too much. Put this into your deck. They did put it on top. Oh, Mind Twist. What a twist. They have 4 cards in hand. I can put them Hellbent. Do I? So if I attack with both my creatures at Kaito, they just let it die. Because they can't save it. Is there anything clever to do here? How do I beat the Palace Jailer next turn, is the question. I think I start by just clearing Kaito. If I Mind Twist them, they can't Palace Jail the Graveyard Glutton. They have to take the flyer. Which is probably what you wanted anyway. And I'm Mind Twisting after combat because I don't care about what's in their graveyard. Because I can reanimate and necromancy that stuff. No, it's probably better to do it pre-combat, because I know there's at least 2 non-creatures in their hand that I would have exiled, because it's basically free to do. Yeah, that was bad. Alright, I should have done this pre-combat. It's not going to affect their blocks. And not a single creature exiled or discarded. They're holding Palace Jailer. It can only take Subtlety. That resolves. Uh-oh! Whoops. That ability's countered. They cannot pay the ward. Now they can only attack with 1 creature, or I get the Monarch. Yeah, that was a whoopsie. Narset, now I don't even care if they have the Monarch. And this attack, they'll probably just block with their 2 tokens. But if they block with Palace Jailer, I can animate it. I don't know why they would block. I guess having an unblockable creature has some upside. Oh, there. This is a 4/4. What are you doing? Stop! Stop! Don't do it again. We've already made 1. Oh no. We've already made 1 Graveyard Trespasser related error. It would not surprise me to see a Shame Scoop here when my creature does not die in combat. Whoops. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Saheeli. And then Animate Dead. Maybe I'm supposed to wait until they have a creature. Like, I could have played Narset, who ignores the Monarch, but I just kind of want it right now. Alright. I am the Monarch. Yeah, that was a tough turn cycle, reading all the words on this complicated Magic card. And it does flip back to day because I cast 2 spells, but it's been a 4/4 exactly long enough. And they scooped it up. Okay, yeah, that was pretty awkward. There are a lot of words on this card and in changing information. But yeah, tough turn cycle, and we were able to grind him out. That was a really good mind twist. Pack 1, pick 1 coming in clutch. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there. I'm on the play in round 2 with a turn 1 Vamp Tutor. What do I Vamp for on turn 1 in my deck? I'm certainly keeping my hand though. Just looking at my deck real quick on the deck screen. Is there something worth vamping for? Do I save this for later? I can have a turn 2 Palantir of Orthonk or a turn 2 Narset. Okay, I do have some powerful 3s fueled by this Mox Sapphire, should I choose to pursue them. And we can see what my opponent's up to. A little Llanowar Elf action. Yeah, I think I want to get Palantir cranking here. Alright, immediately put you under pressure. I'm going to bottom both of these. Yeah, I don't actually want those, and I'm not going to get them anyway. Wow, they just let me draw a card right away. Opponent's like, you're not getting a graveyard. Sylvan Library. Okay. That does make Mind Twist a lot worse. Let me tell you about green decks, though. They tend to have creatures in them. I'm just going to hold up Subtlety for this turn cycle. Necromancy, Snapcaster Mage. I'm going to go top. If they decline, they can take 5. And if they don't decline, I'll get Snapcaster and I can Snap Vamp. This strat of just always giving me the card is really interesting. I've never seen anyone just start on the first pip, like at 20 life. Like, no, you're not milling a single card. Card advantage is the name of the game. Interesting. I wonder if they're worried that I'm setting up a reanimation situation. I'm not going to Subtlety an Elvish Mystic. Like, Snap Vamp is so good, and the Necromancy on top of my deck is actually so medium, that unless they do something big here, I'd rather Vampiric Tutor. And if this Llanowar Elves attack, I'll just trade with it too. Yeah, this is a good turn. Block. The old Stone Rain U plus Tutor the best card in my deck combo. Best card in my deck is probably just like a land here though. Alright, what can I do better than a land right now? Slam Chase the Mind Sculptor. And I'd be holding up Pitch Fury. Or Pitch Subtlety, not Fury. I wish it was Fury in this matchup. Look at this board. I could cast Grief. I could Jace. I don't like Urtai. I'm not set up to start Fallen Shinobiing them. I don't have enough to rock them. Yeah, I think I just want Jace here. Jace. I am gonna brainstorm with Jace. They have Sylvan Library, so Fate Sealing them barely matters. Cool. Put back Graveyard Trespasser and... Or I think it's Saheeli, actually. No, she's what I want to pitch to Subtlety. Graveyard Trespasser and Swamp go back on top of my deck. Then I can play a Swamp, and then end step, Palantir, Scries 2. And I'll get rid of the Swamp, keep the dog. Bottom Swamp, top Werewolf. Opponent has finally decided to take damage, and they take 8 for their hesitancy. Hit the grief. They're 12 now. I think they did that kind of backwards. You're supposed to take damage early against Palantir, and then start letting them draw later. And I don't know their hand or their plan. Maybe they know something I don't, but generally that was the inside-out version of how I would play against this card. Batterskull. Alright, well, I can't subtlety that. Clever. I can bounce the Germ, though. Or just put a bunch of junk in front of it. They can just re-equip Batterskull with what they have. I have removal spells in my deck. I can produce multiple blockers with my hand. I'm gonna brainstorm again. Urtai, okay. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. That can kill the Germ mid-combat. And then I'm gonna put back Sword of the Meek Swamp here. Or no, yeah. Yeah, I have lots of... I need another blue. Sword of the Meek Swamp, go back. Play my island. End step, I'll scry the Swamp to the bottom, leave the sword on top, which is where I actually wanted in the graveyard. Alright, ended up in my hand. They didn't want to take another 8. That's fair. Yeah, this Palantir at this point is just draw an extra card every turn. I don't think they've actually drawn a card off Sylvan Library the whole time. This has just been Miri's Guile. Okay, Urtai resurrected. Flash this in, destroy the Germ. Destroy a target creature or planeswalker. Its controller draws a card. I had to do it this way because they had the mana to re-equip and just attack with Arboreal Grazer. 5 in the pool. Alright, they do know how to equip their equipments. Now if I bounce Arboreal Grazer, that still doesn't solve my problem, because they have enough to equip the Elvish Mystic. Ledger Shredder can loot away Sword of the Meek. Okay, Ledger Shredder. I'm going to play Ledger Shredder. I'm going to play Narset. I'm going to loot away Sword of the Meek. And if I draw the Bloodchief Thirst, I'm in good shape here. Taxian Probe. Okay, well, I'll take that. What's in your hand, by the way? Titan of Indice, Phyrexian Fleshgorger, Hangerback Walker. Alright, a bunch of stuff that dies to Subtlety is the answer. I think actually I have to bounce this Arboreal Grazer. And then Elvish Mystic would be 5/5, and I can just trade with it. Yep, sorry, Jace. You worked hard, but luckily you have all these stupid modes on you. And I'm still holding up Subtlety. I'm not going to attack. And then Palantir does Palantir things. I'm going to bottom. I don't want these lands. And I drew Thopter Foundry. Okay, well, there's that. Now we have kind of an interesting situation, which I've never seen come up before, which is I may genuinely deck myself off Palantir before they take 12 damage. I don't think that's possible. I just need to make sure this Batterskull doesn't start connecting. Wait, how much do I care about Karn? And I can kill Karn next turn, especially if my opponent double spells here. I don't care about the constructs. I can bounce those. Yeah, if they play Hangerback Walker for 1, I get to Ledger Shred, Mere Battlesphere, and Titania. Choose one card. Where does the chosen card go? Put that card into your hand, exile the other. Alright, I want you to have Battlesphere in your hand and Titania under Karn. Looks like they are making Hangerback Walker. Oh, the Arboreal Grazer. Even better. Yeah, that's fine. I get to draw and discard this Necromancy. Or wait, what does Titan do? Can I have this next turn? Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Target player gains 5. Create a Rhino. Put a shield counter. I actually like that a lot. I don't think I need Turok. Let's count here. They got 4 cards in hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 7 mana. If I want a Necromancy, I can only discard them for 2. Yeah, that actually is kind of mid. And I guess I might as well Turok if that's what I'm doing. Or I could spend a turn getting their whole hand out. Okay, I am going to dump the Turok here. We know they're not holding a land. A Swamp. Okay, so I can hold on to this Otawara. Activate Narset. Bloodchief Thirst. And Thoughtseize. Oh, okay. Which of these creatures do I want? Or I think the Bloodchief Thirst is better. Mind Twist due to empty. I'm one short of reanimating something from their hand this turn, but I don't think I care. Wait. I can just delete their whole shit here. Jace, bounce, Elvish Mystic. And then I twist for one more. Here we go. And then I Bloodchief Thirst the Arboreal Grazer. I get to loot again. Animate Dead kind of rules. I'll discard the Necromancy. Animate Dead is as good or better than that. And then attack Karn Scion. Just put them to the top of their deck. And this Palantir does mill me out in 2 turns if they start milling, but also I'm pretty sure my mana value in my deck is more than 12. All right, they milled down to 5. Okay, I think I have them dead on board through most things. All right, cool. What a roller coaster that turn was, but it did work. Oh wow, they scooped the match. Wow. I love when opponents just don't even want to play anymore. My deck's too good. They know they can never beat it. They're out of here. I don't know if that's what happened. Maybe they just had to go, but we're 2-0. If you're looking to run a CEDH or 1v1 tournament, Eminence Gaming has your back with Command Tower. With Command Tower's intuitive tournament manager dashboard, you can handle decklist submission and player management with just a few clicks. Players just need to scan the event's QR code for access to the full tournament bracket, including seamless pairings and real-time standing updates. Take the guesswork out of tournament organizing. Try Command Tower for your next event. I'm on the play with a library in the final trophy round, the finals of this draft, and I did waffle a little bit about this library pick, as I always do, and as it always does, it shows up in at least 1 or 2 games in the draft and just goes nuts. And if my opponent just does something messed up on turn 1, maybe they'll overpower this, but if they don't, they're in a lot of trouble. Concealing Curtains is what they got. That's not the messed up card I was thinking. A library gets to draw. If I play Swamp, I'm at 7. If I play Mox Sapphire, I'm at 6. If I play Bat, I'm at 5. So I actually am going to chill for a turn here. And I can Subtlety something in an emergency. Oh, that should have been Darkslick Shores. Whoops. I don't think it'll punish me, but that definitely should have been my land drop. Baleful Strix. I will not be Subtletying that. And Subtlety is really high cost right now because I lose my Thopter Foundry if I want to do it. Darkslick Shores. Draw a card. Now I have 8 in my hand. If I play the Mox, I go to 7. I play the Bat, I go to 6. Then I draw a card next turn, and I'm back into the library. This is what we were looking for. What you cooking with over there? Time Twister, Grizzlebrand, collect Brutality. Interesting. Well, I have to take Brutality, or else they just kill Bat with it. And they can decide if they want to twist the library player who's already played out a Mox Sapphire. Ooh, Duress. Well, that was a good find. That's probably going to strip my Mind Twist here, would be my guess. And it also takes me out of the library, which is the real cost here. Yeah, Mind Twist is gone. I will not trade with Baleful Strix, thank you. Wow, they didn't even offer it. That's wild. Okay, do I hold a land and try to get back into the library? I don't think so. Their only game plan is Time Twister. And if I play out my Bloodstained Mire, I can Vamp Tutor and play Subtlety this turn. Yeah, I'm just not gonna engage on this axis right now. Vamp Tutor can get the sword if I think that's where I want to be, but that doesn't solve the Grizzlebrand or the Time Twister issue. If they flip this, the discard a card and then that player draws a card will kick in and I can have whatever I vamp for immediately. Okay, so they are flipping their curtain. I'm going to fetch for Watery Grave, and then I'm going to Vamp Tutor over the top of this. And what do I want against their deck? Narset turns this Time Twister into garbage. Yeah, Narset turns the Time Twister into garbage, and it makes Grizzlebrand just a big creature. So they do have a 3/4 menace. Maybe that was bad. I'm not worried about Collective Brutality anymore. If this thing attacks, I will flash in Subtlety and double block it. Yeah, I think this is the long-term exchange that I'm actually trying to get here. And they can't kill Bat and Subtlety, so they have to decide if they want their spell back or if they want to kill my bigger creature. And they did go for spell at the end of the day. Tricky combat. I love it. They have Collective Brutality in their hand now. Ooh. Yikes. Brutality doesn't take creatures. Okay. I'm going to play the Narset. That Time Twist in your hand is bad. That Grizzlebrand is largely blank. I am going to activate this because I have discard spells. Oh no! Spiking the Jace there sucks ass so hard. Anything that costs less than 3 is fine. Ideally Thoughtseize, but now they know they have a real big nice... Or is Collect Brutality instant or sorcery, or is it not a creature? I actually forget. I think it's instant or sorcery now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, just looked it up. It's instant or sorcery. Alright, that will miss if they cast it. Snuff out. Tough beats. Okay. They can put a damage on Narset here. She just needs to be in play, though, to do her thing. And then it's, can I stabilize against this Baleful Strix before they can do other shit? I think the answer is yes. All right, well, the answer is definitely yes. Okay, I can Jace and activate here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I want to kick them with this Turok before I do anything else. What you been holding on to over there? Tell me about it. Oof. All right, well, that's a good one to be holding on to. This kills Narset, which means they can Time Twist her. I do get to draw a card. Maybe it'll be a good one. That was a miserable thing for me to not know they had, though. Thoughtseize. Oh, that cost a lot of black. I didn't mistap, it just was not available to me. Okay, I think I'm going to Thoughtseize them, and then think about activating Narset. Yeah, if I take the Twister, then they just have to beat Jace with their cards. Collective Brutality, Grizzlebrand. And yeah, she's going to die in combat here anyway. Just give me the cards. Yeah, Urtai's pretty strong. From a legacy vintage player perspective, I read this thing and I'm like, wow, its controller draws a card. They make cards too soft these days. Why isn't it just counterspell? But it's still just like very good. Alright, they can Brutality me, discarding Grizzlebrand, take my Bloodsheaf Thirst. If they drew, reanimate this turn. Great. Yep, you deserve it. This is 11 damage. I'm at 1. I don't believe I can win this game anymore. Poor Narset. That stupid Urtai just got me good. The Grizzlebrand does go away at the end of turn. Jace can bounce something. I would have to draw a removal spell. And I don't have that many of them in my deck. I guess a blocker plays too, but then I'm looking at their 14-card hand. That could be a 21-card hand if they choose it to be. Ugh, they griefed me. Palantir of Orthonk, significantly less exciting here than Jace the Mind Sculptor, and I was already pretty worried about the situation. Okay, I'm at 1, top decking. Not sure what's in my deck that could help here. And they have a 7-card hand selected down from a 14-card hand. Discarding 4 basic lands. My own Urtai does not help. Or yes, it does. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to Palantir. I'm going to make them choose. Like, I can kill Baleful Strix, block Urtai, and technically play another turn here. I lose to any removal spell, any counter spell, any haste threat, any direct damage. Okay, I'm going to top here. Either give me the Snapcaster Mage, or give me Animate Dead next turn. Give me Snapcaster Mage. Does this help? No, Bloodsheaf Thirst is a sorcery. Okay, dead to everything here. Let's hope they have nothing. Thoughtseizing me. Alright, here we go. Moment of truth. Can I get them with their own medicine? Nope. Alright, dead. Yeah, that did come down to them drawing their Reanimate spell on the turn where they needed to do that, and drawing the Urtai on the turn before that, but I mean, that was a great game. Certainly not complaining, just stating that that is what happened. I think my main deck is set up for this. In the Thoughtseize you or Grief you or Reanimate you or Big Idiot thing is something that my deck's very good at. Oh, Unlicensed Hearse should be in. Okay. What's less good? And if they have Reanimates, maybe I don't want to be Palantiring my cards into the graveyard. Okay, I'll try it like this. Plus Unlicensed Hearse minus Palantir. On the play, in game 2, obviously, because I lost, I am going to keep this hand that has the potential to Grief Necro something big. The question is, do I Grief now? I think I want to try to take a turn off. I've seen Grief and Duress in their deck. which gives me a little sense of urgency. But if I can bat them, see what they're cooking with, then decide if I need to grief, that's probably better for me. I'm going to take this risk. Plus, if I grief them, that grief's in my graveyard for them to reanimate. Kind of a two-way street here. Ugh. Okay, they did have the Thoughtseize, but I do have grief and bat, both of which meaningfully disrupt them. I think Mox is the best draw in my deck, because then I can grief plus necro them right away. And they did take the bat. That is the thing that disrupts them without costing me anything real. Uh-oh, are they going to Crow Mox reanimate my bat? Snuff out, good pitch. After seeing my handful of black creatures. Okay, there's a land. I think what I want to do here is play Turok and then grief them pitching Fallen Shinobi. Turok gets bigger whenever they discard a card, including if I grief them. If they're pitching cards to Crow Mox over there and they want to play this low resource game with me, I will meet them where they are. Time Twister Kaito, okay. I could just try to outmuscle Kaito, or I could let them do the twist. And I've just done a bunch of stuff. I actually would prefer that they Time Twister to have a Planeswalker. Like, refill me if you're going to refill yourself. Take a turn off to let me draw 5 cards is a deal, after I've just 2-for-1'd myself. Kind of wish I played the blue source here, but I was trying to hide that, but now it might be gone. But if I draw 7, I hope to find one. And they know I have Necromancy in hand, so if they're going to twist, they should probably do it now. Alright, please don't have drawn a better spell. No better spell. No better spell. Fetched a basic island, and Time Twister. I am not sure, strategically, if fetching basic island makes sense here over playing the island from your hand. Because the cards all end up being shuffled in. It's not like the deck's been thinned or anything. I'm not trying to roast them, I'm just trying to determine if that matters. Ooh, this is good stuff. I can Dark Ritual out my grief, take a peek at what they're doing. And then I'm still holding up Vamp Tutor. Let's see if they want to grief me up front. Okay. They appear to be passing the turn. 3, 4, 5. I only have 5 mana. This Deep Cavern Bat doesn't actually add anything to my situation. I'm going to Dark Ritual Grief pre-combat, because that makes Turok bigger. Collective Brutality, Hull Breacher, Thoughtseize. I'm going to take your Hull Breacher. I don't actually mind being Thoughtseized here, because the Vamp Tutor I can just play. And their Collective Brutality does kill Grief, and they have plenty of lands to discard to escalate it. Thoughtseize over the top, Vamp Tutor that. Who do I want here? Narset's been pretty nasty so far. I could get the Graveyard Trespasser. I'd also just slam Jace onto this board now that I've stripped their Hull Breacher. Yeah, I think Jace is the answer. Just kind of the highest impact thing that I can present here. They took my bat with Thoughtseize. I expect an escalated Collective Brutality here. Though, if they don't care about Bloodchief Thirst, then they won't escalate it and they'll just kill Grief. But I think you have to take some pressure off right now. And hilariously, escalating it pumps Turok. Yeah, they went full modes. Drain, take, kill Grief. The 2 life they gain turns into a +1 counter on Turok. Discarded Island, Scalding Tarn. Played their Sacred Foundry. Now I slam Jace into play and start plussing them. They have 1 unknown card in hand. I hope it's not Urtai. You can keep Watery Grave on top. That for 6. Okay, 1 mystery card. Is it good? Even if their card is Urtai, they have to decide if they're going to kill Jace or Turok, and I draw a card either way. I know their hand is 2 blanks currently. Watery Grave tapped. I am going to plus them again. Mana Drain. I'm not going to put that on the bottom because I don't care about it. If they don't stabilize now, they're not going to. And Jace can bounce a creature that they play, so it would have to be some sort of creature that does 2 things, or something on ETB. Cool, did it. I don't think anything changes still in the sideboard. I haven't been convinced that I need Damnation in the matchup, or Contagion. Let's go. They get to go first this time, which has mattered in the past. Ooh, Dark Ritual, Bat Vamp. This doesn't seem like an actual plan. I gotta mulligan this. If I had an island in this hand as well, and I could Dark Ritual Bat Vamp for Sword, that might be enough of a plan, but I'm gonna mulligan as is. Oh no, not like this deck. Well, I'm going to 5 in the finals. I will keep this one. I don't need this sword for a while. I don't want them to be able to take my Fallen Shinobi. Yeah, I guess I'll do it like this. Ugh, hate that. Okay, I can slam the turn 1 Turok again and just try to get busy. I'm nowhere near kicking this thing. I'm just going to put it in as 2-1 attack mode. If they don't cast a discard spell, I'll be really bummed that I bottomed that ninja, because I do actually have an attacker. Like, turn 3 connecting with ninja would have been bonkers. But I would have needed a mana source and to not get discarded and to not get removal spelled. That's asking a lot. Okay, I can vamp for grief and try to poke their hand, animate dead, something messed up. It's a big swing versus grabbing just like Narset. It will depend on what they do this turn. I've also seen Mana Drain in their deck. I'm not trying to feed the engine too hard if I can avoid it. If they Mana Drain my grief, holy smokes, that's a lot of mana. Also, if their hand just like doesn't have a Grizzlebrand in it, this line sucks. If I look at a handful of just like spells. Okay, they are passing again. I think I'm just going to take a draw. All right, I keep hitting my land drops. That's good news. Though, that does mean I would have been able to ninja them here. Maybe if they continue to hold up mana, I think I'm actually going to vamp for the ninja and try to connect with it next turn. Because if they're sitting on Mana Drain, that whole line doesn't get punished by that. Unless they're heads up enough to drain the vamp. I am getting griefed here. Alright, I'll vamp in response. This is a big decision. This is the most important decision I'm going to make in the match. I could just pop Jace on top. I could go for the Fallen Shinobi. I think going for Shinobi is the smartest thing I can do. Because I got them with the Jace last game. And if they can reanimate their grief, that's really good. Then they have a blocker and everything. Or if they just go off over the top here knowing the coast is clear. But if I have just tricked them into holding a Mana Drain for another turn, they're going to take a beating. We'll find out momentarily. Please just pass holding up Mana Drain. Okay, they are passing, and without a land drop. Okay, if they've been holding up Hull Breacher, I don't think they traded in combat. Alright, we're about to find out if this worked or not. Did we perfectly read their bullshit, or did we get walked into some trick? Moment of truth. Combat damage, okay. I hit Graveyard Trespasser Grizzlebrand. Oh my goodness. I'm going to lead on Grizzlebrand, because if they Mana Drain this one, I want to exile it from the graveyard. And if they don't Mana Drain this one, they're in trouble. And they will get 11 mana next turn if they drain this, but if I take this card out of play, I think it's okay. Oh, we have seen Remand in their deck. Or was that in a previous round? No, this was this round. If they Remand the Grizzlebrand, they just get it. That's pretty good. They're taking a very long time to make this decision. There was blue in the pool at one point, and then they untapped it, and now they're deep in the tank. If I hadn't also flipped a piece of Graveyard Hate, I would not have cast the Grizzlebrand, which might seem crazy, because what are you doing with your life if you're not trying to connect with Fallen Shinobi into Grizzlebrand? But I honestly think this Grizzlebrand is safest in exile, if I can't guarantee that it's in play on my side. And the fact that I can exile it even if it gets interacted with is just completely bonkers here. They did have the drain. I did make the right decision with that Vamp Tutor, the correct sequencing with this dog, and now let's see if they can beat me with their 11 mana next turn. I mean, this is certainly a lot to do, or a lot of options, but I did just cut the most powerful card that we've seen in their deck. But if they just cast Ulamog here, I'm going to be bummed out. Toxic Deluge for 4. Okay, that's really good. They are 4 life, though. They know I have Turok, but I can't kick him right now. 6 mana is still around. 8 total. Ooh, dashing a Ragavan, sure. That's frustrating to have to deal with. And they just burnt off that extra 5, okay. Alright, don't flip a busted card from me. They flipped a Ledger Shredder, great. A card they can actually cast with what they have. The best draw for me is a Black Source right now to kick this Turok, because that also punishes Ledger Shredder. If they start conniving, I get my Turok bigger. However, if they were holding up a Remand or something, then they can't Ledger Shredder. They did think for a long time about that Mana Drain, which makes me think they might have more going on. Animate dead, targeting the grief. Yep, okay. Well, that's very strong. That's going to take the Turok, and then Ragavan gets to keep poking. Sure. All right, now I don't want to draw Black Source anymore. I want to draw a big, scary thing like Jace the Mind Sculptor. Oh, yeah. Plus, target me. Oh, that's actually interesting. I mean, them having a haste creature sucks. Them having grief sucks. Plus, target me. Because if they want to attack Jace, they can't take this card from Ragavan. I am going to bottom the Sword of the Meek that I don't want. And then next turn, I have Bloodchief Thirst to kill Grief. They can currently put 4 damage that I'm aware of onto the Jace. They can choose to dash Ragavan at me and try to get the extra Ragavan value. If they do that, I get to Brainstorm. I might just Brainstorm anyway, honestly. Okay, what are we doing here? Rag is coming at me. Grief's coming at Jace. Okay, big flips. They flip Saheeli. If they have a blue or red source, they can cast her, and they do have that. Alright, that sucks. But attacking Jace here means I can Bloodchief Thirst the Grief, and Brainstorm with Jace, and Ragavan still doesn't clear Jace. And if they do cast the Saheeli, then I don't have to worry about counterspells when I just do everything I want to do here. They also tanked for so long on that Grizzlebrand play that they're under 5 minutes on their clock. They did not play Saheeli, yikes. Okay, so they got something going on. Thopter Foundry's on the bottom of my deck, I do know that. If I minus on Grief, what happens if I just play this Thopter Foundry, actually? I'm going to start with that. Thopter Foundry on the stack. Because I can sack my Mox Sapphire and block Ragavan if I can bounce the Grief with Jace and just get the board stable. Remand is the play. Okay. That is what they were playing around. I think Jace should Brainstorm here. If I find any untapped mana source, I get to make the same play again. Yes. All right. Good. Mind Twist is a maybe later situation. Put back Urtai, Mind Twist, and then play the Thopter Foundry again. And I can block Ragavan. Grief doesn't kill Jace. We're starting to get control here. It does cost me a mana source. Narset, hate that. Narset activation. Necromancy. There's a Fallen Shinobi, a Turok. Those are mine, though. I'll just bounce them with Jace and then play them if they reanimate them. There's a Graveyard Trespasser in their own graveyard. Not bothering with the Ragavan here correctly. My top card is Mind Twist, if they don't do something here. Necromancy doesn't target on entry, or on cast, it targets on entry. So I don't know what this is going for yet. Fallen Shinobi. Okay, so I bounce that with Jace, then play it. Oh, I can actually just hit them with Fallen Shinobi this turn. It cost me my Jace, but that's worth it. Okay, end step. Sacrifice Mox Sapphire. Now I have a flying blocker. Draw. Bounce Fallen Shinobi. And you're dead to my 5 damage. Attack my opponent directly. No blocks. Yeah, that was an awesome match. Awesome league. Trophy collected. Yeah, this deck ruled. It was a little broken. It had a little bit of reanimation stuff going on, but it wasn't so dedicated that it was one-dimensional. Had a lot of interaction to make sure we don't die to some BS. Had inevitability in the form of the Jace and the Fallen Shinobi and the Thopter Foundry. This really just did meet all of my current heuristics for what I want out of a draft deck. And we were rewarded with 3 great matches and a trophy for our efforts. As far as I know, at the time of recording this challenge is now over. Demi might send me in again, I don't know, but that is 2 challenges, 2 trophies, both of them took 2 tries. And the one that didn't trophy were 2-1s with Sweet Deck, so I normally feel like I'm just, or at least those of you who have been following the channel for a while know that I generally play Constructed. Cube is kind of this curiosity that exists and I respect, but I never really got into, and I have felt myself getting better over the last 2 years as people ask me to play Cube every time it's up, and I feel like I'm kind of in a reasonable zone now in understanding and knowing like what archetypes come together, how to catch things on the wheel, what I actually want decks to be able to do, and I'm 10-2 over 4 drafts so far. Solid record. Femi, thank you for asking me to play this. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.